Hello, my name is Dave Harford from Black Leadership Analysis, and today I want to talk to you about the importance of meditation. So, I am a meditator, and I've been meditating for about 6 years now. I don't do it every day, but I definitely try to do it every day. Different things happen sometimes, and I might miss a day here or a day there. But what has helped me to do is separate and give myself space between my thoughts, my emotions, and my reactions. So, what do I mean by that? So, when a person has a thought, the thought comes in their head, that's involuntary. And then once the thought's in their head, there's a somatic reaction based on those thoughts. So, you could become happy and euphoric, you could get upset, and then after you have the emotion, you have the reaction. So for the average person, there isn't any space between those three things. But for a meditator, after you've done it a little while, you get some space in between there to where you can be aware of how things are happening and hopefully have the most rational reaction to any situation. So for myself, before I started meditating, I was fired from a job. And the reason I was fired from a job is because I had an argument with a coworker, and the coworker and me got into it, and then I kind of went off and said some stuff I shouldn't have said. Now, the reason me and that coworker always butted heads was because the coworker didn't like having to work with black people. However, had I had more training on how to control my reactions and my emotions, I could have avoided a situation, acted more rationally, and done the things that I need to do to prevent that from happening again. So when a person starts meditating, I recommend, of all the different meditations, breathing meditation. And so what breathing meditation helps me to do is to watch my breathing as I go throughout the day. So because I'm watching my breath throughout the day, when my breathing starts speeding up or slowing down, I can tell if I'm having a somatic reaction to a thought. So when you're meditating, you're concentrating on your breath. You will have a thought while you're meditating, okay? And so you recognize the thought and then go back to feeling your breath. And when you do that, you'll see how your breath changed in response to that thought. So you don't judge it or get change or get mad at it. You just understand it and understand what's going on. So when you do that, you'll keep doing this throughout the day. Okay? So when you start getting angry, you can see your breath speeding up. You'll realize that you are angry, and then you'll have enough space to say, all right, so I'm angry, so my first impulse might not be the best impulse. So once you do that, you can start acting more rationally and making better decisions. And so I think it's very important for everybody to meditate, but especially black people, because we're in high stress situations often, especially at work or at school or just anywhere else. So by going through this meditation process, you're going to end up making better decisions and acting more rationally. Now, I think a big problem in the meditation community, where there's the Buddhist community or the mindfulness community, most of the teachers are white, or they're white people who aren't around black people, don't understand our struggle. So there's a tendency to focus on the individual as the cause of the problems, like all problems are in someone's head. And I will say that a lot of problems are just simply in people's heads. However, you have to understand that there are systematic things going on that's causing people to have problems. And if you can't speak from that angle and understand that issue, then you can't really address people of different races and going through different things. That's why I think it's important to have black meditation teachers, and I also think it's important for white and non-black meditation teachers to take some time to understand what black people are going through. That way, when they get a student that's dealing with that, they can actually handle it. And I also think it's a fallacy to say that meditation, those who are meditating, shouldn't be worried about systematic issues and systematic problems. That's a big problem I see in the meditation community. And it's just incorrect, especially when you talk about systematic racism as it stems from colonialism. So the reason why lay people can meditate is because of a monk named Ledi Sadao in Burma. So back in the old days, Burma was a theocratic monarchy. So the king was actually in charge of the monks. And if a monk was misbehaving, the king can remove his robes. So when the British came in, they disposed the king. So there's nobody in charge of the monks at that point. And so Ledi Sadao would be equivalent to an archbishop in Christianity. So Ledi Sadao decided that he would start teaching lay people to meditate. Lay people are people who are not monks. And that way, because the laity would be growing in their own morality and right action, they'd be able to recognize when monks were misbehaving and stop following monks that were misbehaving. So Ledi Sadao teaching lay people to meditate, one, would increase their own morality and their own decision making. Two, it would help them to pick better leadership. And three, it was to combat the spread of Christianity in Burma. Because Ledi Sadao understood that with Christianity comes a Eurocentric world perspective. And if you have a Eurocentric world perspective, you'll act in the best interest of the British Empire and not the best interest of Burma. So this idea of lay people meditating in the black community to help fight systematic racism is right in line with what Ledi Sadao originally intended. So I'm writing a summary now on Ledi Sadao and why he decided to start teaching monks to meditate. It's going to take me a while. I'm going to put a link in the description for the book about Ledi Sadao. And I'm also going to put a couple links to some work I've done on how to start meditating. And next week, I'm going to attempt to make a short 30-minute meditation, guided meditation for people who want to start. And I hope it really can start to help people. Another way that meditation is important for the struggle against colonialism, systematic racism, is if activists start meditating, it's going to help them have more rational responses to different stimuli they're going to get. Those of us who are activists and protesters on the left, people are waiting for you to have an irrational reaction to something or to say or do something violent so they can dismiss your movement. And I believe that if we have a large amount of those who are activists starting to meditate, we'll end up having less problems in our movements and have even stronger movements. And a good person to read on this would be Lama Arad Owens and Sister Kyoto Williams. They wrote this book called Radical Dharma, and I'm going to put that in the link description below too. But I think it's very important for those of us on the left as activists to start meditating because they're waiting for one misstep. And since we have less resources and whatnot, we can't really make mistakes. So I think that meditation is going to be something to refine us and make us a lot more stronger against opposition. So that's it. I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you like and subscribe.